Module 2, How we Developed the COVID-19 Vaccines Efficiently and Safely. We currently have 4 COVID-19 vaccines approved for use in Canada: Pfizer, BioNTech, Oxford, AstraZeneca, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson. Let's look at the timeline of vaccine development to see how collaborative research, financial investment, and study design contributed to quick delivery of approved COVID-19 vaccines. Vaccine development can take a long time. It can take researchers months to years to find enough funding to support their research into viruses or vaccine ingredients. For a study to provide results that are reliable, researchers need to recruit hundreds to thousands of volunteers. It can typically take over a year to recruit enough volunteers and many more years for those volunteers to be exposed to the virus in ways that help us understand how effectively the vaccine prevents illness. Once a safe and effective vaccine candidate is identified and approved by health agencies, it can take many more years to build manufacturing facilities and begin vaccinating Canadians. The COVID-19 vaccines were developed efficiently and safely because we could remove many of the speed bumps that usually slow down vaccine development. Countries around the world invested billions of dollars into vaccine research. This surge of investment allowed researchers to run multiple, large-scale studies at the same time. With all this funding, vaccine development companies could begin building manufacturing facilities to produce vaccines while final approvals were pending, accelerating the delivery timeline. The global research community worked together to find solutions. Researchers around the world made the virus that causes COVID-19, SARS-CoV-2, their #1 priority, and shared data with each other to speed up the research process. On January 11, 2020, researchers shared the entire genetic code of SARS-CoV-2, equipping other researchers with details they needed to tailor existing vaccine technology to the virus. More than 150 different vaccination projects started worldwide to find safe and effective vaccine candidates. Existing research on coronaviruses and vaccine ingredients gave us a head start. Researchers have been exploring the use of mRNA in medicines for over 30 years. This is the technology used in Moderna and Pfizer-BioNTech vaccines. The COVID-19 virus isn't the first coronavirus the world has dealt with. Research on related coronaviruses, which cause SARS, or severe acute respiratory syndrome, and MERS, Middle East respiratory syndrome, helped researchers tailor their vaccine formulas. SARS-CoV-2 is a relatively simple virus to design a vaccine for because it doesn't mutate as quickly as the flu or HIV, for example. Funding and volunteers allowed for large scientific studies with people. Recruitment of volunteers is typically a slow process, but the severity of COVID-19 encouraged many people around the world to volunteer for clinical trials of vaccine candidates. After demonstrating safety and effectiveness throughout Phase 1 and 2 clinical trials, COVID-19 vaccines were tested with more participants than vaccines for other diseases. Phase 3 trials usually enroll several hundreds to 3,000 people, but there were many, many more volunteers for the vaccines currently approved for use in Canada. Pfizer-BioNTech had 44,000 volunteers. Oxford AstraZeneca, 23,000 volunteers. Moderna, 30,000 volunteers, and Johnson & Johnson, 40,000 volunteers. Because COVID-19 was spreading quickly around the world, participants in the trials were exposed to the virus often enough to quickly determine how well the vaccine protected them from severe illness or death. This provided real-world data much more quickly than vaccine testing for more rare diseases. Health Canada has determined that the vaccines are safe, and they continue to monitor for rare side effects. While the time frame for monitoring side effects during clinical trials was shorter than typical trials, we know from safety trials of other vaccines that severe adverse effects usually occur within the first 2 months of vaccination. Regulatory agencies were able to review safety and efficacy data as the trials occurred without needing to wait for the trials to be completed and published. As Canadians received approved vaccines, Health Canada continues to monitor for rare adverse effects. As of November 2021, more than 7.4 billion doses have been administered across 183 countries. Canada has administered more than 59 million doses. Of the 59 million doses administered in Canada so far, more than 99.99% have had no serious adverse effects. In summary, this is how we developed the COVID-19 vaccines so efficiently and safely. Billions of dollars in research removed manufacturing speed bumps. The global research community worked together to find solutions. Existing research on coronaviruses and vaccine ingredients gave us a head start. Funding and volunteers allowed for large scientific studies with people. And Health Canada has determined that the vaccines are safe and they continue to monitor for rare side effects. All the references to the material used in this module is available to view online. This module was made possible through the support of the Natural Sciences and Engineering Research Council of Canada and a collaboration between the Centre for Research in Occupational Safety and Health and the Science Communication Program at Laurentian University.